Hello guys, welcome to the Python tutorial. So in this video tutorial we are going to learn about SQLite. So in Python we have the built-in database called SQLite. So we are learning about the in detail about the SQLite. So now I will explain you the what you mean by SQLite database. So SQLite is like a software library, so that provides the relational database management system like similar to the MySQL database. So the SQLite in SQLite means like it's a lightweight in terms of the setup. So database administrator and require the resources, so it's like a software applications, so we can use the we can by importing the modules, so that is the SQLite, we can perform the several operations. So it has the some of the features like what is the some of the features like compared to the MySQL. It is a very good like software by how means like it has the self-contained and it is serverless, means it's a no need to run the background in server. So this is the advantage for using the SQLite. And it is like a zero configurations, means we need in SQL and all, so we have to set up the all the server like configurations by to access that database. We have to configure like using port number, username, password. So those all activities we have to perform before using the MySQL, and with that SQL should be running in the background, then only we are able to access that database. So in case of SQLite, here no need to configure the anything, so we can directly by importing the module SQLite, we can perform the any transactions in the SQLite. So now SQLite has the like some of the following like features, as I explained, the like a serverless and self-contained and zero configurations. So these are the main features of the SQLite. Now I will going to explain you why SQLite only. We have like in market we have so many data types, right? Sorry, so many databases. Like SQL is there, MySQL is there. Sorry, yeah, SQL and both MySQL both are same only, and PostgreSQL is there, MongoDB is there, and such like so many no SQL databases are there. So why only SQLite means like SQLite has it does not require any separate server to run to access this SQLite database. We need not to be use the any separate server for the processing data. Like it is a completely serverless. So this is the one advantages for using the SQLite. Next, like SQLite comes with the zero configurations, which means no need to set up the any administration. Means we are in like uh, 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 in like setting the admin user and giving the credential to the sub clients like sub user to access those database. So here not required anything. Just like we have to import the library and use the database. That's it. And like in SQLite, it is like a complete database, so it is stored in a single cross platform disk like a, so whatever we are storing data, that will be stored in disk file only. So whenever we want, we can access the data. And like SQLite is very small and lightweight. It is like less than 400 kb like, and fully configured. And it is a self, as I explained, self-contained, which means external dependencies. So it's only depend on the external libraries, not the fully like background server should be run. No such criteria in the SQLite. And like in SQLite also, we can perform the acid properties. That is however we are performing in the MySQL, no similar properties we can perform the all the operations in the SQLite also. And it allows us to access the multiple processes or thread like in MySQL we can access many threads at a time, but here also we can use the processes or multiple threads. And SQLite supports the most of the query language like as we found in SQL 92, that is a SQL2 standard. So here in this SQL2 we have the most of the query languages. And like next is like SQLite is written in ANSI and it provides the simple and easy to use APIs. So in SQLite we have the some of the inbuilt on yeah, like ready to use APIs. So APIs in the sense application programming interface means which already has the certain rules defined in the that software. So we need not to be do anything for just we have to call those APIs or we have to import those APIs in order to access the anything. And next SQLite is available on Unix, so it has the cross platform means which means we can access SQLite in Windows, Ubuntu, Linux, Android, iOS. So based on our requirement we can access the SQLite in any of the operating system. So for this reason we are using the SQLite databases. Now these are the advantages of using SQLite. Now we have the some of the disadvantages like limitations. So I will going to mention the what is the limitations of SQLite using. So here we cannot perform the right outer join. So only we can perform the left outer join in the sim here, because right outer join is not possible, and full outer join is also we can perform the left outer join is here the only left outer join is implemented, but right outer join is not able to perform here, and even full outer join is not also performed, but we can perform the left outer join. And like alter table, like renaming the table and adding the column, so altering the table, so these commands are not supported in the SQLite. And we can drop the column, alter the column and add the constraint, or here that these things are not supported, which means renaming table is not supported, adding the column is not supported, and altering the table is alter table command is not supported. And even the deleting the or dropping the column and changing some modifying the column name, so adding the some constraint like foreign key constraint, null key constraint, these kind of activities are not supported in the SQLite. Next is it is not supported the trigger support, means for each row we need to trigger the some support, no. So for each the statement is not supported in the SQLite. And next is this is the views. See, in views in the sense virtual table. So virtual table will be here in SQLite, it will not support it. So it is a read only. Means in view SQLite, these are the only read only. So you may not execute the delete, insert, and update statement on the means in view, on the view we cannot perform the operations such as delete, insert, and update operations are not possible in the SQLite. So next I'm going to explain you some of the commands. So SQLite has some of the commands, standard commands to interact with the relational database, like similar to the SQL. So those are like creating the table and creating database, select like to retrieve the data from the database, and insert command to insert the values into the table. So updating the data, and deleting tables values. So these are the commands available in the SQLite. Now I will explain you the how to install and how to work with the SQLite with the help of example. So now I will show the with practical here. So now I will show how to import the SQLite. Just you need to import the SQLite by command called import, and you just type SQLite is a built-in only, so you need not to be install anything from in order to use access the SQLite. So just you have to import the model and create the database, that's it. So now import statement, then SQLite. So SQLite3 is available freely for the Python. It is already by installed default by the pip manager, that is Python package manager. So when you are installing package manager, it will be by default only installed. Now I have to import the SQLite, then I have to create the connection. So I'll take connection variable here is equal to SQLite dot connector. So this is the class to connect. See, you can mention parameters. You have to mention the database name, timeout, and the detected type. So you have to mention here database name. So which database you want to create. Now I will mention on sample DB. Sample.db. So this is my database name. Now I will print something on the console so that we have to use this connection is equal to. Sorry, I missed the equal sign here. So now I will printing something database created successfully. So now I am writing something database created successfully. Now if I run this program, this sample.db will be created automatically in this here in this part it will be showing. Now I will run the program. So you can notice here. See, database sample is created. See, you can see the sample file. This is the created one. So this command used to import the SQLite and this command used to create the database that is called the sample DB. So by running this command, I have imported and created the database called the sample DB. Now next I will show you how to perform the some of the operations like now I have imported the database I have and created the database called sample db. Now I will create the table. So how to create the table? Now to create table we have to use the execute command here. So execute command with the and as we have in MySQL, we have the create table and table name and the field name. Similarly, we have the command similar to that only. We have create table a table name like that. But we instead of that, before we have to use the execute command. So now I will show you how to use that one. So we have to use this connection and variable reference here. Connection dot execute is the command to create the table. Here you have to use the create table command as present in the MySQL. Create table. So I will call table name as employee. And now you have to give the fields name. So I will take ID ID as integer and it's a primary key and not null. And I will take name I will take text and not null. And I will take one more age int not null. So now I will take address. Address I will take char. So for the character we have to mention the size. So I will take 50 size. And I will take salary. Salary I will take floating point, that is real number. So now I will close this one. Next I'll write some statement here. So table created. Table created successfully. Then I have to close the connections. So to close the connection, we have to use the command called con.close. Now I will run the program. See, table is created. So now table has been created. Now I will show. I will insert the row data in the table. So to insert data, we have to same execute the command called connection dot execute and insert into table name, and whatever the field you have created in database, those field value you have to insert with the command values. Now I will show how to insert one. I will insert one values here. So now table is created. Now I will comment this line, and I will comment this line, and I will insert the. Okay, now I am inserting values. Say, I will insert only one values right now. So this is the command to insert the values in the database. So con dot execute. We have to use the execute command, and this is the similar to the insert syntax is similar to the MySQL. So we have to instead of that you have to only mention the execute here before insert command. We have to use the connection dot execute in order to insert the values to the database. Say these are the my field name, so id, name, age, address and salary are the, so I'm taking the values, I'm inserting these values in the database. So now I will insert the values into the database. So here command is to connection dot execute. This is the similar to the SQL command, insert into employee. Employee is the my table name here, and these are the fields. So ID, name, age, address, and salary. These are the attributes or fields in my table. So I'm inserting the values. So after this, we have to use the values, and these are the value I'm inserting in my table. So now I will run the program. See, now I have inserted because I not printed anywhere command here, that's why it's not showing. So now I will print something here. Inserted. So I will run the next, it will so inserted successfully. Now I will show how to read these inserted values in the database. So for that we have the command called okay, now created the table and inserted the record into a table. So next I will show how to read the inserted data, that is by using the select command. So we have to use the select command to in order to access the database the values stored in the database. So now I will comment this code. Connection dot execute is the command, and write similarly how we are selecting the uh, values from in SQL. Same command, select star from employee. So employee is my table name here, and we have to take the for loop for printing each row values. So if I'm not using any for loop, it will just print nothing because I have to take with the help of loop. So each data row we have the command called fetch. Fetch is the here command. So I will store these in some variable, that is data variable, and I will fetch with the help of data variable data dot fetch. Fetch here is the method to fetch the values. Fetch all, or we can use a many also. If you are using fetch many means you have to specify the how many rows you want to extract. So I want all the rows, so I just mention all. And then next I will use the for loop for rows in data, and I will print the row here. Print rows. Now I will run the program here. So it means we are not inserted any, there is no values, that's why it's giving empty data. So now I will insert one different, so I will insert more values in the table. So why it is giving empty means we have inserted the values but we are not saved the values in the database, that's why it's giving the empty list. So now to save that one we have the command called commit. So you have to use the connection dot commit in order to save the inserted values into the database. Now the commit. So now I will run and execute label. We'll get to the see. Now inserted these, I'm inserted these values, I'm inserted, and I committed. The committed in the sense I saved in the database, that is called the sample database. In sample database we have the table called employee. So in this employee table we have the these are the attributes: ID, name, age, address, and salary. In this field I have inserted these values. So now I committed means I saved the value in the table. So now I'm retrieving the data from the database by using the select command. So this is the, taking the variable data as a reference. I'm and executing that this command, and this command whatever this result I'll get, that I'm storing in data variable. So I'm fetching, this is the fetch all is the command to fetch the all the data from the database. So we can use fetch many also, but if we are using fetch many we have to specify the size of how many row you want to access from the table. So I want all the rows from the table, so I am using fetch all. Now I have to iterate these data, so I am using the for loop for that. So and after that I have to close the connections. So this is a simple example to retrieve the data from the database. So next I will show you. So now I will insert one more value and how to fetch many rows. So I will show that command. Now I will insert one more here. You can notice here I will comment right now. I will comment this code. See now I have inserted the, so one more three rows again. These are the values like ID 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the I am inserted values. Now I will print here all. So if I print all, it will print in the form of, sorry, employee unique constant. Okay, I already inserted this ID because I have taken ID as a primary means. So in primary key what happens, it will take only unique. If you are inserting same duplicate value means it will throw an error, because I am using the primary key here. So I will comment, already I have inserted this data. Now I will retrieve this data by using fetch all command. See, this is the my inserted values. So now I will take fetch many command. to fetch the all, or I can take fetch one also. I will show you how to use fetch one and fetch many. We have a command fetch all is over already. Fetch one I will show how to use one. So fetch one means it will return only the first all the rows which are present in the table. Means it will fetch the one by one row from the table. See, this is the I inserted, this inserted is the first inserted data, and this is the second, this is the third and fourth. Now I will show how to use fetch many here. So this fetch many, I have to specify the size here. So I will specify the size as 2. Now I will run. See, this fetch many returns the 2. So now I will take only one. Okay, it will returning fetch many means it will returning all the values also. Now, okay, it will return all the values. So means we have to specify the size, that's it here. So this is all about the SQLite in the Python.